So I want to see if you're willing to do a channeling now for us. I don't know exactly how that works on your end. If you just
Mm.
tap into who's coming
Yeah,
through and see if there's a message for us and the listeners.
sure. Yeah, just do it for our highest good.
Sure.
And so, yeah, I have an idea of who's good to bring in right now. So, okay. All right, listens. Greetings, you, brother Arcturians, blessings. I am, my name is I am. I've just been with this group or this channel for some time. Basically, yes, the idea is to lift the consciousness of humanity one day at a time. If people are feeling it or not, that's up to them. But we're here to guide those that wish to be guided into a higher frequency of themselves. Doesn't mean you have to be super happy every day. It just means that you know there's much more happening on this world. So you come out of the, yes, you call it the coma of reality. Because humanity, as you call it, sleep or a coma of, you feel like you are awake, but are you really? You're part of a dream world that's been created for you, basically. A matrix reality, a reality by your controllers, and they're showing their how good they are at controlling planets, and you're learning how you are to not be controlled by a planet, by a reality. So it is like a reality within a reality within a reality, actually. So your astral self is basically to protect you, so you don't overload yourself, because that can, you can easily open yourself up, but can you handle it? Of what's really here, because it can be quite intense. Yes, gargoyle beings, reptilian beings are just standing looking at you. So it can be a little bit much, even for those that are awakened to all this. It's like, is this going to help me in my? Because many people that stay, why people aren't fully awakening to exactly what's here, because you're here to help others evolve. So you know there's much, so you're kind of putting yourself back to sleep. You awaken, and actually you can go much further. You're actually putting yourself back into a dull side moment, so you can help others see what you're seeing, even if you're not seeing it anymore. You know something more is going on. But yes, if you have any questions, please.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming through. A very
Blessings.
nice, very nice to meet you. So, as far as like you said, being aware and these energies being too intense,
Mhm.
like should what is the main focus? Should we be just dealing with stuff that we haven't dealt with, or should we be trying to connect to our guides? What's more important as far as that
Well,
goes?
it's an individual. What drives you? What is it like? If there's research for like the two of you, I feel like it's research. You don't necessarily have to connect. You are connecting to your guides by doing what you love, what you enjoy. So some people need to connect to their guides because they have not talked to them like forever. But some of you are just, you are being guided right now.
Yeah.
So they are talking to you as you find what you're looking for. It's like, I want to know more information about Area 51 or Dulce in Mexico. Of course, some of that will be blocked for obvious reasons. Protect you, actually. They can actually tell you everything, but is that really appropriate? So, and some people do receive information where they can't handle it. So, and even
Ye-
helicopters even show up. It's like, you're just going to do a frequency you weren't supposed to connect to. So, yes, go ahead.
So you're saying that I guess the military has a branch out there that can pick up on when you're connecting to something that you shouldn't be connecting with.
Even with channeling, they allow channeling right now. They have not blocked it. They do interfere here and there to quiet information. But yes, they can pick up. They're designed where they can just feel somebody connecting to their frequency, you can say, where they're trying to keep hidden. And then you can kind of get the key and unlock it. So yes, happens a lot. That's what your Men in Black are here for.
Are there what percentage are there actually human hybrid ETs walking around in the public population?
Yes, around 4%,
4%?
which is a lot actually.
Sure. And then would we know the difference between them and a human?
No, they're not. They're not really allowed to say anything. Normally, they also marry within their own group, so you don't know. Just like you see in the movies, pretty much, like the cone heads.
Sure. That's actually a good example.
It is a good example, yes, because it shows that they stay together. Nobody's going to know. So even when their kids have relationships with other alien beings too.
Are there ETs within the Trump administration?
Oh yes, there's a lot of positive Men in Black beings there also keep them alive. So some beings want to kill the whole project, which you're not allowed to.
Yeah, I've heard there's been multiple attempts on President Trump's life, and the only way to describe how those have been stopped are miracles, because there's other forces at play.
Oh, yes, there's tall blonde Nordics that are assisting in a positive way. There's tall whites. Tall whites have been here for forever, so they have their presence here also. It's like you mess with tall whites, you can say that's the end of, not the end of your race, but sometimes that seems that way.
Now, I know there's a photo floating around where Trump is signing the bill for Space Command, and standing next to him are two commanders that people claim are Lyran commanders or Lyran commanders. Is there any truth to that?
There is. Obviously, yes, we can't disclose fully details on it, but yes, there is a Lyran connection. Yes.
Interesting. Thank you. Thank you for that. And the Q operation, is this something that is an extraterrestrial backed operation, or is it strictly human military?
Oh, it's human and alien. It's extraterrestrial. It's another way to get information out, as you know. It is a psyop, you could say, but in a positive way. Well, both ways. It has all types of energies, but it has coded messages in it, as you can see. So that was the main purpose of it.
I've always said that, like, yeah, it's a psyop, but a psyop doesn't have to be a bad thing. It doesn't have to be.
It's more like a neutral, because some take it different ways.
Yeah, absolutely. So, man, I wasn't prepared with any questions, but
whatever comes to mind. Anything.
I have a personal question. I don't know if you would be able to answer,
Please.
But I have been made aware that I might be a part of some government MyLab program that I've been being taken since I was a child, and I don't know if there's any truth to that, and I don't know if that's any information that you could provide.
There is, yes, some MyLab. Obviously, that's very controlled. You have a lot of Zeta connections in your past. So you've been on Zeta ships. You've got your orders to awaken humanity, as both of you are. Both of you on different missions, but overall, it's still combined. But you both have different directions you're going into. About for you, you connected to more positive Zetas to get more knowledge of the negative Zetas that are here and the ones causing trouble through technologies, through mind control. It's like, I don't want that program. I don't want that one. I want to have some soul left of me. When I come in here, I want to have some way of awakening myself. Even the way you awaken was all planned. You're human for a certain point, and then, oh, eureka, I'm now somebody else.
Thank you for that. So did this, because I have memories of being on craft, and I guess these are the memories that I have.
There's also tall whites on that ship also protecting you. There's some feline energies there too, where they can't show themselves, because some of them look, if they're a human here, they'd be bulky like Arnold Schwarzenegger, because they are very strong beings. So they care of those humans, like they sometimes almost be obvious. It's like, is that an alien? It really does look like one. So this is why many of you incarnate as a human, through the human process, through the normal channels of incarnating, so you can do the work unseen. So,
well, thank you for answering that. So how many people would you say within the community or just in general are actively doing work or being taken or participating in a program at the same time they're living their life here. Is this happening with everybody, or is it just a handful of selected individuals?
Well, we can say right now is around 20% of people. It's not everybody that's in this awakened state. Now, yes, they go into astral, but they live an astral life. They don't necessarily here to be awakened either. They're here for a specific reason. So people say they want to awaken humanity. Not everybody's here, as you know, not here to be fully awakened. They're here to go through a divorce or whatever it might be, and then they're out of here.
So I've heard. Sorry, I have questions just coming to mind. I've heard that a lot of celebrities and stuff are actually clones of people that are actually of like high-ranking officers in the secret space programs, but they are here on Earth. They don't know that they're a clone. They think like Kevin Spacey. He thinks he's Kevin Spacey, but really he's a clone of a guy named Paul Serene in the programs. Is this the case?
It's not at all. There is truth to that, such as the Scarlett Johansson. Now you notice how she's black. Was it superhero in
Black Widow or something?
Yes. A little bit of a clue.
Interesting.
By the way, I'm a super soldier. So yes, they do mimic their roles. Some of their Marvel people. I don't have the names of all your actors, but the one that played Thor, I don't have his groups. Hemsworth, he's one too. He's a super soldier also. Obvious when you look at him.
Sure. That's interesting. So, am I a clone? Is there another version of me out there?
They're undisclosed. Most of them are clones, yes. But they're undisclosed, yes. Undisclosed locations, yes. But in a positive way.
Wow. So you are a clone. I was right.
Well, that's where you can complete your mission. So if someone does hijack you, or where you don't remember, yes, we're going to go kind of in a sci-fi realm here. It's not fiction, but where there are times where, yes, you can be actually assassinated and your clone is replacing you. And you continue, and nobody knows.
Interesting.
I think that's what's happened with a lot of our actors anyway. I think, like they say, Patriots in control, like let's just say Tom Hanks has been arrested or taken out or whatever. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean that they have control of another clone spawning somewhere else in Australia, let's say.
Right. The cloning has always been part of human evolution. Aliens do it. It's just part of how they learn too. It's just a part of. That's not in all realities, in all worlds, but for yours it's neat because it's kind of a military psyop. The planet itself, it's necessary to stay alive.
I've always said the whole planet's under a false flag attack.
Pretty much, yeah. This is ground zero, or the red zone, as some call it. Yes, yeah. This is your Iraq planet.
Yeah, interesting.
The war never ended.
How many stargates are there on Earth?
We're allowed to say 15.
You're allowed to say 15?
There's at least 15.
Yeah. Now
most are underwater, actually. Really?
Would that be natural stargates? Because I know there's man-made also.
Man-made are not that strong. They're not that good. It was made by humans. That's where you have your mental problems. Or you come through another gender. That does happen. It happens rarely, but it can happen.
Wow.
You really mess with someone's biology, yes.
Yeah, I can only imagine what some of those early experiments looked like.
Yes, more like the early ones, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they started with objects as well, sending objects through to see.
They did, but they went right to the human now.
Interesting. As far as what's taking place on the moon right now, how soon is it going to be, or how far into the future is it going to be when humans discover that there are bases on the backside of the moon and the entire moon is actually like a satellite?
There is possible of, obviously our timelines are going to be 100%. Let's say around 20 years.
Oh, that long?
That long ago, yes. That would be rumor. understand your human race is still not acknowledging all of this. Now, if most of you are asking the same questions as they are about the election and looking more like, what's going on? Are we being controlled? In a positive way. If you're conspiracy theorists going crazy, like you're going to have a heart attack, they're not going to tell you everything. It's like, don't worry, just take it easy. Which is many, actually. They want to know the truth, like some of your outgoing conspiracy theories. Yes, Matt.
So 20 years before we find out about the moon publicly. That's very interesting.
Now, that timeline can always become sooner. We're just saying what we see right now.
When are the technologies going to start being released, like the free energy and replicators and all that, med beds?
Well, when your elites no longer want to accept money from humans, and also when your human is no longer want to pay for these things.
Yeah.
So it has to be a group effort. So, once again, 20 years possibly, or sooner, your Tesla is, your Tesla company they're actually working on other ways, but it has not been approved for obvious reasons. Of course, there are other companies out there doing free energy too. But at least that one's their most well-known one. Where they're allowing certain technologies because your electric car could have been done a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be done by a certain person. It's under control, and certain agendas there.
So nothing's really black and white, and anything can change at any moment.
Oh yes.
And the collective consciousness raising could actually affect that timeline. Every choice we make affects that timeline.
Correct.
So are we? What do you see as far as the political turmoil and civil war happen? Are we really looking at some dark times ahead, or is this really going to start turning into a positive movement?
Well, right now, yes, there's many timelines that are still possible. As your Biden, there are timelines where he does still become president, but also I feel like your Trump's not going to allow that to happen. So we feel like he's going to do things to make sure he does not leave that position, because he does see where the country is going to go. And the whole point where he became president is so it doesn't go into turmoil, as it looks like it's going to go into even worse. So I feel like he's going to hold on no matter what. From what we're seeing now, it's up to him. I feel like he's going to do whatever it takes. So now, if he's not in office, you feel turmoil everywhere. The United States and the collapse of it, possibly. With him staying in, it'll still go through a shift of darkness, but it will be better than an alternative direction.
So one other thing, and we will let you go. This vaccine that's out, that's coming out, that we're hearing terrible things about, is it possible to set your intention, if you're forced to get this vaccine, that you can actually clear your energy field?
Right.
Can you explain how that works?
So yes, because some people are going to have no choice. So you go with what's in your mind to dilute it. Like, we'll just use, for example, drink orange juice, the colonial silver, as you mentioned, things like that. For example, you do what comes to mind, you talk to other people, and you continue that direction. And for the most part, I feel like people won't be that negatively affected by it, but some will be. But if you want to cleanse it, there are methods of individually. There's not one way that fits all. But yes, you put your intentions out, you can clear it out. You feel like it's not affecting as it used to, then you should be good to go.
So, but can we can we set the intention before we get it? This this isn't going to affect me. This isn't going to have a negative effect, and will that work?
Yes, that will. And many are doing that right now, even before months or weeks before they even get it. So yes, they're already putting that intention out already. So yes, and even we feel like some of you will even dilute the vaccine itself. So when you do get it, you get like a half a dose. Even nobody can tell where it wasn't affect you as much. But you got it, good enough, it's on the paperwork, you're good to go. So you have that too. So.
One last question I know the answer to, but for any of the skeptics out there, is the Earth flat?
No, it's not flat. But there are flat Earths out there, though, yes.
Are there?
Oh, yes. There's square worlds, there's rectangular planets. Yes, the flat Earth people do exist. Oh, yes, they're speaking from their reality.
Wow.
That is their world. Yes, their world does not have all this chaos. At least from their perspective. Some of them have.
So the flat earthers' world doesn't have all this chaos. Maybe
Well,
we
some
should.
of them.
But space definitely exists because
Yes, it does. The
Maybe
flat
it's
Earth
the-
people, yes, they come from another version of Earth, and you can tell them all day long this Earth's round, they will not believe it.
Yeah. Oh, I've seen that. But I've also listened to some of their arguments, and some of them are valid,
Right.
which I thought was just like people being paid to put out misinformation just for a major psyop.
No, this is actually real. I don't think a psyop would even come up with something like this. It's like, even they would not come up with something like that. No. Yeah, there are people that they want Earth. To them, the flat Earth, the version they come is more positive. So of course, it connects to that energy. So
More positive on the flat Earth. Well, guys, I might have to switch to the flat Earth here.
well, like I said, not all flat Earths are all positive. Remember
Yeah.
that.
So that's just what you're telling me basically is that other universes and star systems have a different template to where
Yes,
all
they do.
their planetary bodies don't have to be round,
Exactly.
spherical.
Yeah, to them this is strange. Beyond a round world, what is this place? This is like all wrong to them.
Yeah.
Interesting. And it's just the same with like our 5-star template. Like most of the beings in our system are the 5-star figure. You know, they look more human-like
Yes.
from what I would imagine. But then you go somewhere else, we might not even recognize that form of life.
That's correct. There are also 2-headed humans. They say, why would you want one head? What's the point of that? Who are you going to talk to?
You know, it's basically everything in myth and legend and folklore. I said this in the last episode. Everything that we've ever seen exists out there somewhere.
Well, everything you can imagine actually exists somewhere.
Right. Right. Everything. Every single thing you created is somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So it comes, or you're downloading it, you're creating whatever it is. It doesn't exist somewhere, yes.
So then, in a sense, no one is ever wrong.
Correct. Yes. Some people feel they're wrong because it's not part of their reality. It's like, that's not part of my reality. But for others, yeah, the more open you are, the better. It helps.
Wow. Well, this can go on for like 24 hours, so we better start wrapping this up. Thank you so much for coming through.
Blessings to you.
Will you remind me of your name again?
I am.
I am.
Yes.
Thank you.
Remember. So, all right.
Yeah.
Blessings to you all.
Thank you.
Blessings.
Blessings. Greetings.
Wow, that was incredible. Thank you for that.
Thank you. That was amazing.
That was I feel like we got some good information there. So when you channel like that, do you remember all that also?
With sessions I don't, because it's private and I stay out of it. But for this, I can remember to a certain degree.
Sure. So have you ever listened back to one of your sessions and be like, oh shit, I said that? Like that came through my mouth?
Well, like for sessions, like if there's a message for me or something, I need to know how to remember it.
Okay.
I don't necessarily have to remember. So it's just for me directly, not something else's personal situation. So
what's so interesting to me is how your entire mannerisms change and your voice gets louder and more clear. It's just really interesting how that works. It's fascinating to me. I can't thank you enough for coming on and doing this.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah. Do you want to let people know where they can find you?
Book a session? Just ivantower.com. Find me, or you find me on YouTube, just look up Ivan Tower. So everything's there. So.
Well, that's simple enough, right?
All right. Yep.
All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks, Ivan, for coming on and doing this. This was a lot of fun. Really, really fascinating to me, especially for me. I'm just intrigued by all this information. So, guys, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget the promo codes. They're all below in the description. I don't know if it's too late to utilize any of these things as a Christmas gift, but we do have a new shirt coming up very soon, and some of you guys may have seen. January is going to be our secret space program disclosure month. We have a lot of exciting things happening in January. We can't wait to get into that. So keep an eye out for that. Some big names coming up here at the end of the year. It's gonna be a fun for us. It's gonna be a exciting end to the year. So thanks for tuning in, and we will catch all you guys next time. Enjoy your evening.
Good night, guys.